You are nothing yet, and that is not an insult. That is simply the truth of where every Navy SEAL begins. You signed a contract with the United States Navy and volunteered for the most demanding military training program on the planet. But signing a piece of paper does not make you a SEAL. It only means they are willing to let you try. Every year, approximately 1,000 men apply for SEAL training. Of those, roughly 250 are selected for basic underwater demolition/SEAL training known as BUD/S. Of those 250, perhaps 50 will complete the program. The instructors will tell you this on your first day at the Naval Special Warfare Center in Coronado, California. They will tell you that 80% of the men standing beside you will not finish. You will look around at the other candidates and think to yourself that the instructors must be talking about them, not about you. Every man in that formation is thinking exactly the same thing, and most of them are wrong. First phase, Hell Week. The defining trial of SEAL training is Hell Week. It lasts 5.5 days, during which candidates are permitted a total of 4 hours of sleep. Not 4 hours per night, 4 hours total across the entire week. The physical demands are extreme, but they are not the point. Every man who reaches Hell Week is already in exceptional condition. What the instructors are looking for is something else. Something that cannot be measured on any fitness test. Something that exists in a place inside you that you do not know about until you are forced to find it. Hell Week begins at 2 in the morning on a Sunday. Instructors detonate blank grenades inside the barracks. You hit the ground and start running, and you will not stop for 5 days. The water temperature in the Pacific off Coronado averages 15 degrees Celsius. You spend hours in that water, lying in the surf zone with your arms linked to the men beside you. Waves breaking over your head, your body temperature dropping toward hypothermia. The instructors call this surf torture. They pull you out just long enough for the shaking to stop, and then they send you back in. You carry a rubber boat on your head everywhere you go, 200 pounds shared between 7 men. You carry a log as well, a telephone pole weighing 250 pounds. 1 man cannot carry a log. 7 men can, barely. Everything in BUD/S teaches you that the team is what keeps you alive. On the beach, there is a brass bell mounted on a post. Beside it stand the helmets of the men who have already quit. If you want to stop, you ring it 3 times and place your helmet in the line. They give you hot coffee and take you somewhere warm. Your time as a SEAL candidate is over. The bell is always visible. That is deliberate. Every hour someone rings it. Every hour the formation grows smaller. By Wednesday, you lose the ability to distinguish one day from another. You hallucinate from sleep deprivation. Your body begins consuming its own muscle for energy. And still, every time you think about the bell, something inside you says, not yet. 1 more hour. Not yet. When Hell Week ends on Friday, the men who remain look at one another in silence. You have proven something that cannot be proven any other way. Everything else, they can teach. Second and third phase. The purpose of Hell Week is to identify the men who will not quit. The purpose of the remaining phases is to determine whether those men can perform the job. Second phase focuses on combat diving. You learn to swim for hours in zero visibility water, navigating solely by compass. The most feared evolution is pool competency, in which an instructor attacks you underwater, rips off your mask, tangles your air hoses, and strips your tanks. Your task is to solve each problem calmly, without surfacing. Men who panic will fail. In combat, men who panic will die. You learn to work with explosives, including C4 and various detonation systems. The original Navy frogmen cleared beach obstacles before D-Day. That legacy now belongs to you. Third phase covers land warfare, close quarters combat, room clearing, sniper fundamentals. You fire thousands of rounds until the mechanics become automatic. BUD/S takes 7 months. After that comes 6 more months of qualification training. By the time you finish, you have been training for nearly 2 years, and you have not yet conducted a single real operation. Trident. The ceremony is held at the Naval Special Warfare Center. The commanding officer pins the Special Warfare insignia to your chest. It depicts an eagle clutching a Navy anchor, a trident, and a flintlock pistol. It is the only warfare pin in the Navy worn by both enlisted and officers. After the pin is attached, the men in the room step forward one by one and strike it with their fist, driving the pins into your chest. By the end, you are bleeding. This is the tradition. The trident is earned with blood. You are now a United States Navy SEAL. Within the teams, however, you are simply a new guy. You do not speak unless spoken to. You carry the heaviest loads. You learn from men who have been doing this for 15 years. The Trident means you completed training. It does not mean you are ready. It means the teams are willing to invest in finding out. A 5 Petty Officer, 2nd Class. Your first deployment takes you to Afghanistan. The helicopter inserts your element into a valley at 2 in the morning. The moon is bright, and mountains rise black against the sky. You move toward the target compound in darkness, placing each step carefully because this terrain is seeded with IEDs. The veteran operators beside you move as though they have done this 1,000 times. They have. You are trying to project the same confidence. The breach comes. The door goes down. You flow into the structure exactly as you practiced hundreds of times. The difference is that the people inside have weapons and they are not role players. The veterans move like water, calm and efficient. You are executing correctly, but you feel half a step behind, still processing while they are already acting. A muzzle flash in a dark room. You return fire without conscious thought. The training either takes over or it does not. There is no middle ground. You conduct similar operations night after night, and then someone does not come back. He was a man you trained with who survived Hell Week alongside you. That morning, he was talking about what he planned to eat when he got home. By evening, he is in a body bag. No one prepared you for this weight. They prepared you for combat mechanics, but not for losing a brother who endured everything you endured. There is no training for that. There is only the reality and the choice about how to carry it. You carry it. You go out the next night. That is what the Trident costs. A 6 Petty Officer, 1st Class. As a team leader, you are responsible for 4 to 6 SEALs. When the plan falls apart, those men look to you. You have 2 seconds to make a decision that may determine whether everyone goes home. On June 28, 2005, a 4-man SEAL team conducting Operation Red Wings in Afghanistan was discovered by goat herds. They faced a decision: kill the civilians or release them. They released them. Within hours, the team was surrounded by over 100 Taliban fighters. 3 SEALs died. A rescue helicopter was shot down, killing 16 more. 19 Americans died from a decision made in seconds on a mountainside. You study Red Wings in detail, as does every SEAL leader. That is what leadership looks like at its most consequential. That is the price decisions can carry. You no longer sleep well. Your mind runs scenarios continuously, searching for the mistake you have not yet made. Your family notices changes they cannot understand because your experiences exist in a world they cannot visit. E7 Chief, Petty Officer. In the teams, officers rotate every 2 or 3 years. Chiefs remain. You are the institutional memory, the man who remembers why procedures exist and which lessons were paid for in blood. When a young officer arrives, technically your superior, the outcome depends on his judgment. If he is wise, he listens. If not, he learns the hard way, and your job is to ensure his education does not cost lives. You have completed more deployments than you can count on one hand. You have operated in countries where your presence was never acknowledged. You have watched news coverage of events you participated in and seen reporters get the story wrong. You have buried friends and delivered eulogies. You have watched Tridents placed in the hands of widows younger than you were when you enlisted. The younger SEALs look at you as though you have all the answers. You do not. You simply have more scar tissue. Your body registers the damage now. Knees that ache, back that never recovered, hearing diminished from years of explosions. But you are still here, still doing the work. E8/E9, Senior Chief and Master Chief. At this level, you have conducted operations classified at levels most people will never access. You have participated in decisions that altered events, and you will never discuss them publicly. On May 2nd, 2011, 23 members of SEAL Team 6 conducted Operation Neptune Spear in Pakistan. They flew stealth helicopters into a sovereign nation, assaulted a compound, and killed the man responsible for September 11th. One helicopter crashed. The team adapted instantly. 40 minutes later, Osama bin Laden was dead. The president announced it to the world. The SEALs who executed it will never be identified. They do not wish to be. Recognition is not why they do this. At your level, you have witnessed triumphs no one will learn about and losses that wake you at 3 in the morning. You know the names on the memorial wall at Special Warfare Command. You could retire. Your body has been telling you to for years. But the teams are your family. Officer track. There is another path to the Trident. As an ensign, the men address you as sir, but everyone understands you know little. The wisest course is to find the chief with 15 years of experience and learn everything he will teach. As a lieutenant, you command 16 SEALs. You lead from the front. You are on the helicopter, on the target, making decisions at the same speed as your men. As a lieutenant commander, you may command multiple platoons. Politics enters your thinking. You coordinate with agencies, navigate factors that determine whether combat occurs. You write letters to families informing them their husband was killed. These duties never become easier. You project confidence you do not always feel, because that is what your men need. After. When you leave the teams, the Trident remains with you. Your body does not. 20 years of jumps, combat loads, and explosions exact a toll. Your knees, back, shoulders, hearing. You gave the Navy the best physical years of your life. But you are now part of something permanent, a brotherhood that began in 1962 when President Kennedy authorized the SEAL teams. Every man who wore the Trident is your brother. When a SEAL dies, his teammates gather at the funeral. Each man walks to the casket, removes the Trident from his chest, and drives it into the wooden lid with his fist. By the end, the casket is studded with Tridents, each one a farewell from a brother who understands. Hundreds of Tridents have been driven into caskets since 1962. You know some of those names. You think about them on quiet nights when sleep will not come. The only easy day was yesterday. That phrase is everywhere in Coronado. It sounds like motivation. It is not motivation. It is prophecy. It is the most honest thing anyone ever told you. Every day is harder than the one before. The training, the deployments, the losses. It never becomes easier. You simply grow stronger or you break. You did not break. You are still here, years later, Trident in a drawer, memories sharp. You did something most people cannot imagine. You went further than you believe possible, and then further still. The only easy day was yesterday. You would not have it any other way. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more true stories. See you in the next one.